If we look at the objectives of education, there are quite a few that you can look at. First, we get educated when we go to an educational institute. We build up our knowledge on a certain subject or field, and we become the expert in it. Next, education is supposed to help us to think independently when we are faced in any crisis or any situation or in an unfamiliar environment. Education also helps us to contribute to society much better because we have the tools and the resources that we have garnered over the years, which we can use to contribute to society. First at the family level, next at the social level, and then national, and perhaps even all the way till international or global level. As we are contributing to society, we will learn certain skills. Skills such as how to deal with diverse thinkers, how to deal with a group of people who have a thinking or a view that is different from you. How can we work with people from different language, ethnic, social, economic, religious environments and societies? How can we work towards a win-win situation? And that is where, through education, develop leadership skills. If you look at public speaking, it also has some areas which overlaps with the goals of education. For example, leadership, which I shall come to later. As a public speaker, the first thing that we learn is building up our confidence. Public speaking boosts confidence. You are able to speak boldly, you are able to think agilely. In order to improve our listening skills, we need to listen to others, and this is where public speaking comes in. When you listen to a speaker, you need to put on your listening cap and listen. Not just hear the words, but listen and understand what is the message they are trying to convey, and do you accept or do you find the views convincing. Next, it enhances your thinking skills because you come across people with different levels of knowledge and experience, and from diverse environments. You gain information, you gain how to look at a situation from a different perspective. Moving on, learn to think on your feet. If you're given a topic or you're given a question, all of a sudden you are able to weave together your ideas and present it in a coherent manner. And of course, there's leadership skills just as in the educational path offered by schools and academic institutions. If you look at the skills that are required in the year 2023, which is just 1 year away, or a few months away if I should say, some of the skills that we are required to learn according to the Cool Stories website. There are about 10, and out of 10 you can see that almost 8 of them require public speaking skills, emotional intelligence, communication skills, lateral thinking, cognitive flexibility also in thinking, cultural skills and global thinking, forever learning, decision making skills and adaptability skills. Let us move on and see. It is said that communication is going to be one of the most important skills that we have to learn in the future. And Toastmasters International, where I am an area director for District 80 in Singapore, have learned many skills and acquired much knowledge and wealth of experience. Toastmasters International has over 300,000 members across 149 countries with 15,800 clubs worldwide. These are some of the educational tracks. We call them pathways that are available. There are tracks on motivational strategies, persuasive influence, strategic relationships, visionary communication, team collaboration, presentation mastery, dynamic leadership, effective coaching, engaging humor, innovative planning, and leadership development. More skills in the form of pathways will come into Toastmasters International curriculum. Let us look at the type of speech that we normally offer or present to others. It basically depends on where, when, to whom, and why you need to give the speech. Based on that, you decide the type of speech. Informative speech, that's when you need to give lots and lots of facts, figures, and examples. So you need to know what to say, when to say, where to say, why you need to say it, whom you need to present your speech, and how to present it in that way. Storytelling requires you to have the skills of putting on a plot, having characters, using voice, having a moral message at the end, and include a plot twist in between, and to include a plot twist in between. Storytelling. Have you ever thought of what elements go into a story? There's a plot, there are characters involved. If there are two, then you have to use different voices. There must be a moral at the end, and in between there could be plot twists. It's almost like watching a Hollywood, or rather a Bollywood movie, where there is typical storyline, a certain formula, and we as speakers do our best to entice the audience, make them engage with our story and follow us on our journey till the end. Entertaining speeches also may have stories, but they mostly have jokes and anecdotes, and they're made to make you laugh. They are like comedies that we watch. There's a lot of emphasis on our voice and the way we appear. We love Charlie Chaplin because of the way he appears. We also love Jerry Lewis because of the many animated actions that he has done, or Jim Carrey for that matter. Then we come to special occasions speeches. These are speeches that have various genres within themselves. There are speeches to motivate, speeches to inspire, speeches given at a birthday, at a wedding, at a graduation, and at a funeral. Then there are keynote speeches which can last for about 20 minutes or even more. And sometimes you even do a panel discussion which can be as long as 40 minutes. Thus you can see that when you give these different forms of speeches, you're actually learning much and sharing your knowledge with many others. In order to give any speech, we need to deliver it in a certain way. Non-verbal communication takes precedence over any content or message you have. The best orators are those who are able to deliver it in top form. Therefore, your voice comes in, the tone of your voice. Is it a happy tone, a sad tone, a serious tone, or a humorous tone? The pitch, low pitch, high pitch, volume. Sometimes we need to talk loudly, sometimes we need to talk slowly, sometimes we need to speak quickly. When Mark Antony in the play Julius Caesar says, "Friends and Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears." Initially, when he said the first few words, the audience was straining to listen. That was his way, or rather Shakespeare's way of bringing in the audience to come closer and listen to him. And at the end of that fiery speech, the crowd will get so angry with those who murdered Julius Caesar and turn against them. That is the power of a speech. Speed is how fast or how slow we speak. If you want to know how fast you are speaking, record your speech for 1 minute and listen to the number of words. Count the number of words that you have spoken. That gives you your speech. Some people can speak 100 words per minute. Others maybe 60 or 70. But as an audience, you need to vary this speed so that sometimes when you see the audience sleeping, you bring them back with your use of your voice. Pauses. After narrating a sad incident, for example, an accident, you need to give a pause. Sometimes when you tell about a horror scene, you need to give a pause. Even when you say or share a happy moment, you need to give a pause. Why, you will ask? It's because the audience always may not be able to follow you at your speed. Which is why when you find movies, they have a lot of all these commercial breaks, so to speak. In horror movies, often when just as you are about to get very fearful and about to close your eyes and see the movie through the holes in your fingers, they put in a humorous moment, a musical moment, or you hear the creaking of the door and just a cat jumps out. All these are done so that we do not go into a shocking state or traumatic state. Similarly, when we give a speech, we cannot always have one element in it. If it's going to be a speech that is somewhere, it cannot be sad all the way. And the honor of it, the audience will become so emotional that they may not be able to continue listening to a speech. Therefore, you need to have pauses. Posture is the use of body language, is the use of hands, movements, the way we look at the audience, using eye contact to look directly at them or to look at certain people in the audience so that they feel that they are also engaged or included in your speech. Facial expressions to express the different emotions and to evoke those same emotions in the audience, and to evoke those same feelings in your audience. Body movement, turning to the left, turning to the right, also has an effect. Now, coming to postures, there are positive postures like this and negative like this. Imagine someone slouching like that and telling you a story. You will be the first person to fall asleep. And gestures should be open, not closed. I believe in giving equal rights to women. Women should be given the same rights as men. When I talk like this with my hands clasped towards my body, it doesn't give that same effect. On the other hand, if I say that with open arms, today in society, men and women have an equal role, and we should give them the opportunity to have the same level and playing ground. Today in society, men and women are considered equal. In no way is one is inferior or superior to the other. That we need to give equal opportunities and treat them as same wherever they are. Give a level ground. The same starting point for everyone is very crucial. You could see how my posture now conveys a different message. Next, language. Words have the power to kill. Words have the power to instill in people confidence, inspire them to do more. create them or evoke feelings and ideas in them that make them follow us on our journey to fulfill a certain cause. It is important that words and sentences are like a kiss. We need to keep it short and sweet, or short and simple. An active word versus the passive word. Active words are words that are direct. I saw him, other than he was seen by me. Singapore was founded by Sang Nila Utama. Sang Nila Utama discovered the island of Singapore. Can you see the difference? The active verb, the active sentence has more power than the passive one. Synonyms. Instead of saying I liked her, I liked him, I liked the way she talked, I liked the way she walked, we can use other words. I love the way she spoke. There was beauty in her words. I was mesmerized by her speech. I was captivated by her voice. These words evoke stronger feelings in the mind of the audience. Avoiding jargon and cliches. At the end of the day, has become so common a phrase that we just don't want to listen to it again. Look for something different. Ultimately, finally, look for words that have a different way of communicating the same idea. Using rhetorical devices such as a simile. He was as beautiful as Aishwarya Rai. He was so cool as a cucumber. She was as patient as a turtle. He was as brave as a lion. These are similes. Another rhetorical device is known as metaphor. He bled buckets of tears when he saw his grandmother in the coffin. Look at how powerful those words are. Then there's something known as alliteration. Sounds that are repeated at the beginning of slender, slimy, slithering snake caught his attention. You can hear the sound of using a rhetorical device adds more impact to your speech, and that's where language comes in. Moving on, impromptu speaking, speaking off the cuff, and speaking under fire is something that all of us will encounter sooner or later in our life, at the workplace, at home, or even on the street. It can be an occasion, at a wedding, where someone comes to us and says, could I have your opinion on this? And sometimes you are put on the spot. Sometimes it's even on television. Sometimes it's on the radio. How do we handle such situations? That's where Toastmasters gives public speakers the opportunity to learn various techniques, such as what I've shared over here, to storytelling, to using the techniques of globe, pendulum, funnel, perceptions, comparisons and contrast, clock, prep, Oreo, and many others, including the bridging. And for every speech that is done by a speaker, including table topics at some clubs across the globe, someone is there to give feedback. He is known as an evaluator. He or she gives feedback, as feedback is the breakfast of champions. When giving feedback, one needs to ask ourselves, are we here to counsel this speaker? Because when we listen to the speaker and the way they convey the message, and through that process we are able to gauge whether this person needs some coaching, some counseling, or some mentorship, and that could be an additional conversation that we can take on after their speech. If we need to counsel this person so that they build up their self-esteem, self-confidence, and overcome their public speaking fear, we help that. If on the other hand, this person needs to be trained, be coached to a next level, then be there. And finally, he can be a mentor. Toastmasters International offers you the opportunity to be a leader at other venues. You could be a leader at a club. You can be a leader at the area, which consists of 3 to 5 different clubs. You could be at the division areas, and then you could be finally in the district. You transform from a speaker to a leader. You transform from a speaker to a trainer, and that is one of the benefits that I've acquired as a master with over 20 years of experience. Ladies and gentlemen, all of us here can improve ourselves through public speaking, and public speaking is a lifelong skill that we can acquire. In conclusion, I would like to say that education does not stop after you go to school. You can continue it by coming into the Toastmasters International platform and continue it. When you learn from a diverse group of people, locally and globally, your learning curve is sharp. You learn faster, you become better, and one day you will be one of, who knows, world champion. If you have no intention of going into that, for all means, you could be so confident to speak at a global arena that acts as a speaker, could be, or groomed to be a global motivator, global influencer. Alternately, you could be headhunted by someone because of your extraordinary public speaking skills, take on an important role in a company. Would you want to say no to all these benefits that can come to you? Would you like to say no to any of these benefits that I've mentioned if they were to fall onto your lap? Of course, no. Therefore, think about public speaking as another venue to get your education. Education is a lifelong journey and there's no end to it. With that, I end my speech today. We shall meet again. Have a wonderful day ahead. This is Distinguished Toastmaster Brahma Kumar signing off from you.